Hello, my name is Bailey Wright. I'm the District 1 4-H program specialist, and this is just going to be a quick overview of our food show contest here in District 1 for 2021. If you were with us in 2020, you know that was kind of a year of big changes for our food show contest. Some of those changes were due to the circumstances that we were in, and some of those changes were because the food show contest kind of got a facelift at the state level last year, and we decided to adopt some of those changes at the district level. So if you were with us last year, food show is essentially going to look the exact same this year that it did last year. We ended up thinking that some of the things that were implemented in 2020 worked really well for our food show. We felt like it was a good experience for our youth. That some of the adjustments we made for each age category, we felt like that kept it really age and skill level appropriate. And we were also running on time, which if y'all have been doing food show for a while, you know is a pretty big accomplishment. So we're essentially mimicking exactly how food show looked in 2020, but I'll just talk through that a little bit. The only real change this year is the theme, but we'll get to that. The basics of this contest is that food show is an individual contest. So I think this is ideal for someone who wants to be involved in the food and nutrition project and take it a step further and compete. But maybe a team contest just isn't ideal for you. Maybe your schedule, you're super busy and can't make weekly meetings with your teammates. This is probably a really good alternative to that because you can practice on your own schedule and you can practice at home whenever you want to. You do prepare your dish ahead of time. So I know most of our food show contestants, they practice making their dish at home a few times. I would probably say at least 3 times so that they really know the steps of how they're making their dish and what all's included in their dish. Then they can go be successful at the contest. So when you get to the contest, same thing, we're going to ask that you prepared your dish ahead of time. Remember, no one tastes these dishes, so it's okay if you made it the night before and maybe it's not quite as hot as it's supposed to be or quite as cold as your dish is supposed to be. No one tastes it. You're just going to tell them about your dish. So we want it pretty much fully prepared before you get to the contest. And then you present your dish to the judges. For our juniors and intermediates, it's truly an interview. You walk up to 2 judges, set your dish on a table, and you give them your name, your county, the name of your dish, and then they start asking you questions about your dish, which you'll learn kind of what questions they're going to ask you later on in the video. Seniors, when you get to the judges, you go ahead and give a 5-minute presentation. Again, you'll learn more about what's included in that presentation later on in this video. And then the judges will ask you some interview questions. And then there's 2 extra steps for our seniors, but you'll learn about that again in the second half of this video. This year's theme is really fun. It's backyard barbecue. And so there's a few things that go into that. Primarily, the goal would be to make a dish that is commonly found at a barbecue. You can get really creative with this, but also I don't want to discourage people and think, oh my gosh, I have to stick to brisket and sausage and potato salad. No, everyone's family barbecue might look a little different and have a few different elements to it. So I think that's a-okay too, to be creative on your dishes that are found at a barbecue. You might put a little bit of a twist on some of them. But just make sure in your presentation or in the questions that you're answering in your interview, you can relate back your dish to barbecue, to a backyard barbecue, and maybe how it fits the theme for you. There are 4 different categories for every age division. Those categories are appetizer, main dish, side dish, and healthy dessert. Y'all will give me 1 second. I am going to give y'all some better definitions of those categories. So an appetizer is traditionally a small dish or food that's eaten prior to the main course. When selecting recipes for this category, contestants should consider foods that are lower in fat, sodium, and calories as to not ruin one's appetite. Main dish is usually the heaviest, heartiest, most substantial dish in a meal. In a meal consisting of several courses, the main dish is served during the main course and is the featured dish of the meal. The key ingredient is usually meat or another protein food, but they may contain other foods. Side dishes are foods that are usually served along with a main dish or as an accompaniment to the main course. Suggested dishes may include salads, cooked vegetables, cooked fruit, pasta, or rice dishes. Healthy desserts. Healthy can still mean delicious when it comes to dessert. Dishes in this category should be served at the end of the meal or for special occasions. Contestants should modify traditional recipes with healthy substitutions and consider My Plate and dietary guidelines when selecting recipes for this category. I think you should consider My Plate and dietary guidelines when selecting recipes for every category because our goal in the Food and Nutrition Project, one of our goals is to promote a healthy lifestyle, but especially make sure you're taking those into consideration in this category. So I think those are all really fun categories. When you're thinking of your recipe and what you want to make, go ahead and start thinking which category does this fit into. So here's just a few tips for your dish and your recipe. First and foremost, make sure whatever you're making fits the category that you decide to enter. And so that's a discussion that you can have with your counting agent if you're not quite sure where your dish fits or where it would fit best. We do want to make sure it's in the correct category because if not, you'll automatically lose quite a few points and that's no fun. You also want to make sure it fits the theme. And like I said, this theme can be interpreted a little bit differently, but we do want to make sure somehow you're tying in a backyard barbecue to your dish.